What's up, people? Welcome back to Invest with T Claus. My name is Tevi, and this channel is dedicated to my investment journey, along with coverage on crypto, Tesla, Neo, Virgin Galactic, and ChargePoint. Come for the information and stay for the perspective. It was just Wednesday that Bitcoin shot up to a new all-time high of $69,000 before that sharp drop. If you're wondering what caused it, inflation data from the Consumer Price Index hit with a scorching hot 6.2% year-over-year increase, the highest number since 1990. And of course, the market sold off, because it's as good as a reason as any to take a bit of profit. Rebalance your portfolio before the rally into year-end. And yes, Bitcoin is supposed to be a hedge against inflation, but it doesn't mean that people won't take profit on their coin as we hit new all-time high. That's just part of the process. Another blow that sent Bitcoin further down to the 62K range was the rejection of the VanEck spot ETF by the SEC. There are a few other applications out there, but they will all most likely get denied in my opinion. So if that's the case, how do we get to 100K by the end of this year, let alone 250K, which would be a 4x multiple from here by the end of next year? Well, that's what I'll try to provide a bit of perspective on today. By the way, the 250K number isn't mine, right? It's Tim Draper, who is a venture capital investor and a major Bitcoin bull. He believes that that's where we are going by the end of 2022, early 2023. He was recently interviewed at the Web Summit conference that took place last week, where he once again reiterated his price target. So in today's video, I'll play you some clips from that interview and provide a bit more color on why I think Tim may be onto something here. I'd recommend watching all the way through so you don't miss out on any pertinent information. Drop the video an early like if you haven't already, and hit that subscribe button. Those are two easy ways to show your support to the channel and help it grow if you appreciate the content. All right, let's get into it.
Are you interested in any specific sectors of the crypto industry apart from Bitcoin? What are the sectors that you are scouting around in the latest time?
Well, you said apart from Bitcoin. Bitcoin is really the center of my focus, because I look and I say they're in the position of maybe what Microsoft was in back when the internet was getting going. Or when software was getting going, where they could pick and choose. They were the operating system, and they could pick and choose which applications they wanted to operate on their operating system. I think it's similar here. So I think Bitcoin will be the big winner. But I also think there's some real creativity that's come from a lot of the entrepreneurs who are trying other things with crypto. But then there are all these amazing projects, whether they be around smart contracts or NFTs or DeFi, creating more liquidity in all these markets. And more liquidity means more wealth for the world. And NFTs could take on many different lives. But I thought about using NFTs for voting, because they are all one of, and that's perfect for a voting system. So, and it's probably good for about 5,000 other great applications that no one's come up with yet. So cool things are going to be happening.
Cool things are going to be happening for sure, starting with Bitcoin's biggest upgrade to date, set to go live tomorrow, Saturday. Taproot is aimed at improving privacy, efficiency, and programmability, which are all key to scalability and supporting the next phase of adoption. And it's not too surprising to hear that Tim is all in on Bitcoin, considering he purchased 30,000 Bitcoin way back in 2014 for 19 million at the time. At the current price of, call it 64,000, since Bitcoin is recovering already, assuming that he hasn't sold any and hasn't bought more, that initial investment alone would be worth $1.9 billion and some change. In a previous video, I talked about using blockchain technology for voting. I'll link that here if you want to go and check it out. And just last week, I was telling you that 2022, in my mind, is the year that market will embrace NFTs and the metaverse. I'll link that video here as well if you want to go watch that. The point here is, if I'm thinking about it, and you have multi-billionaire venture capital investors like Tim Draper thinking about this, and Coinbase is getting into the NFT sector, well, there's probably something that you ought to pay attention to.
What are the milestones that we should look forward to for 2022, according to you?
I think the big milestone for 2022 will be that retailers start using OpenNode or Lightning Network to allow their customers to use Bitcoin. Once people can buy their food, clothing, and shelter with Bitcoin, they're not going to use any fiat currency ever again. Why would you? if you can hold a currency that is sort of the currency of the future, and a currency that is, there are only 21 million, not subject to any political whims, nobody's printing trillions of them. I just think you're going to end up with people really running for Bitcoin.
And so retailers accepting Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies is already happening and has been gaining traction. I had previously covered the AMC Theater plans to accept crypto. They have now made it official, offering customers the option to make online purchases with Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, Litecoin, and Ethereum. Dogecoin will be added before year-end, followed shortly by Shiba Inu. Another one that people will recognize is this one here. The restaurant group behind Bubble Gump and Rainforest Cafe, the Landry Group, will now give its Reward Club members $25 worth of Bitcoin for every $250 spent at any of the 500 restaurant locations they have around the US. So next time that you go into Bubble Gump or the Rainforest Cafe, sign up. It's an easy way to stack up some Bitcoin.
But do you think that's going to happen in 2022? Doesn't it look a little bit too ahead of time?
Well, they're already doing it now. I was in New York and I went and got a haircut, and I said, "Do you take Bitcoin?" And they said, "Yeah, here, we're using OpenNode." I think it was OpenNode. Yeah, here, you can use Bitcoin. And they were actually pretty enthusiastic about it. So they were thinking, my Bitcoins are going to be worth more than my dollars are. In fact, I want to move out of as much fiat currency as I possibly can so that I can move it into Bitcoin.
The reality is, Tim isn't the only wealthy investor out there who's allocating more and more to Bitcoin and crypto in general. Kevin O'Leary, who famously called Bitcoin garbage on CNBC a couple of years back, has now rebalanced his portfolio to shift more of his gold allocation to Bitcoin and crypto for a total of 10%. This here is an oversimplification, but it should help for context. Kevin's net worth as of 2021 is $400 million. 10% of that allocated to crypto is $40 million. But what actually matters here is the fact that his allocation to Bitcoin and crypto grew from 3% at the start of the year to now 10%. The number of millionaires and billionaires who are increasing their exposure and publicly disclosing it this year has drastically increased. Tim Cook, the Apple CEO, just recently disclosed that he too has allocation to Bitcoin and Ethereum. This trend isn't slowing down.
If you had to make a price prediction for the end of this year, what would that prediction be?
Oh, I only make one prediction every 4 years.
Oh.
And my prediction about 3 years ago was that Bitcoin will hit 250,000 by 2022, the end of 2022 or early 2023. And people thought I was crazy because it was at 4,000 when I said it. But they don't think I'm quite as crazy now.
That's the kind of laugh that you have when you know that your Bitcoin bag is approaching $2 billion. And not only that, all the signs are pointing to the fact that you'll likely be able to times that by 4 by simply holding it, right? So how do we realistically get to 250K per Bitcoin? We've covered the wealthy investors allocating increasingly more to Bitcoin, while the number of countries thinking about adopting Bitcoin as legal tender, like El Salvador, as well as the countries simply looking to regulate it so that it can be integrated into society for a frictionless experience is growing. Also, politicians are realizing that being pro-crypto can help them win elections. Also, remember this chart by ARK Invest? 1% allocation by Fortune 500 corporations on their balance sheet provides a 40K bump to Bitcoin. And if they go up to 10%, that would represent a 400K increase to the Bitcoin price. Now, this isn't going to happen overnight, but the shift is happening and will only accelerate in a macro environment where individuals and corporations alike are worried about the risk of inflation and are looking for ways to preserve as much purchasing power as they can. If we go back to the Landry Restaurant Group, they made the shift to incorporate Bitcoin onto their balance sheet, and their director of digital asset strategy gave this reason for their new loyalty program. And I quote, "We view Bitcoin as a good choice for a portion of our treasury, so we want to offer that choice to our customers as well. We're proud to pioneer this concept for the hospitality industry in partnership with NYDIG," end of quote. Then their CEO also stated, and I quote, "It's amazing how simple a crypto transaction is, and it's here to stay. This is where it is, and it's inevitable that this was going to happen," end of quote. The last thing I will leave you with is this. Starbucks now allows you to reload your reward card with Bitcoin and Ethereum among several other cryptos. This means that at a minimum, Bitcoin will make it onto their balance sheet. The reason you're seeing the adoption by retail giants accelerate is quite simple. They have no choice. El Salvador may be a small country, but we're starting to see the ripple effects from them making Bitcoin a legal tender. Every retailer by law doing business in that country has to accept Bitcoin. This means that each one of those corporations like McDonald's, Starbucks, Walmart, and many others had to figure out how to process Bitcoin transactions from paying customers. And now that they've gained the capability, it's truly simply about scaling up and figuring out which markets to roll out the service to next. And so really Bitcoin hitting 100K, 250K, or eventually 500K as some are predicting really isn't a matter of if, in my opinion, but rather a matter of when, between now and 2025, each of these milestones will be crossed. And on that note, I'll leave it here for today. If you enjoyed the content, make sure to smash the like button and share with others who you think could benefit from it. For my newcomers, subscribe and don't forget to ring the notification bell so that you don't miss out on any future content just like this. As a reminder, I post every Sunday and now also one additional in-week video for more crypto-focused content. Thank you for watching, stay humble, hustle hard, and I'll see you in the next one.